I had finally learned the difference between helping and enabling. The realization hit me while I stood in my own kitchen, the kitchen Margaret and I had designed together 30 years ago, listening to my son-in-law explain why he needed $75,000. Again, Kyle sat across from me at the breakfast bar, his laptop open to what looked like a professional investment deck. Behind him, through the bay window, Mount Hood caught the late October sun, the same view Margaret had loved, the same house where we'd raised Jennifer, the same kitchen where Kyle had promised, 3 years ago, that the first loan would be the last. "Robert, I know what you're thinking," Kyle said, sliding the laptop closer. "But this is different. This isn't like before." I set down my coffee mug carefully, the ceramic clicking against granite. "That's what you said about the food delivery app, and the cryptocurrency mining operation, and the social media management company. Those were learning experiences." He didn't even blink. "Every successful entrepreneur has failures. Even your heroes, right? Bezos, Musk, they all failed before they made it." I was 62 years old. I'd spent 38 years as an architect, building my firm from nothing into something that employed 23 people at its peak. I'd sold it 2 years ago for enough money to retire comfortably, travel with Margaret, finally relax. Then Margaret died 6 months after the sale. A stroke, sudden and complete. She was 60, and we were supposed to have decades left. Jennifer had been there for me. She'd moved back home for 2 months, helping me sort through Margaret's things, holding my hand at the funeral, making sure I ate. I'd been grateful. When she'd asked if she and Kyle and Emma could stay just until we get back on our feet, I'd said yes immediately. That was 18 months ago. "Kyle," I said, keeping my voice level, "I've already given you $43,000 over the past 3 years. Invested," he corrected. "You invested that money, and you'll get it back, I promise. This new opportunity, though, Robert, this is the one. My partner has connections at TechCrunch. We're talking Series A funding within 6 months." "What happened to the returns from the previous investments?" His jaw tightened. "The market timing wasn't right. You can't predict these things. That's why diversification matters." He tapped his laptop screen. "This is different. We're talking blockchain integration with sustainable agriculture. It's literally the future." Through the archway, I could see Emma in the living room, sprawled on the floor with her colored pencils, drawing something elaborate. 7 years old. Margaret's granddaughter, though she'd only had 2 years with her. Emma looked up and waved at me. I waved back. "I need to think about it," I said. Kyle's expression shifted, a micro-expression of frustration quickly masked. Sure. Take your time." "But Robert, the window closes Friday. If we don't move fast, someone else will grab this opportunity." "Friday is 3 days away." I know. That's just how these things work in the tech world. Everything moves fast." He closed his laptop with a definitive click. "Talk to Jennifer. She'll explain it better than I can. She's really excited about this one." After Kyle left for his networking meeting, he was always going to networking meetings, always building his personal brand. I did something I'd been avoiding. I opened my desk drawer and pulled out the folder where I'd been tracking the money. First loan, April 2022. $8,000 for incorporation fees and initial inventory for a meal kit delivery service, supposedly paid back by profits within 90 days. That business lasted 7 months before Kyle declared it ahead of its time. Second loan, January 2023. $12,000 for cryptocurrency mining equipment. Passive income, Kyle had promised. The equipment sat in my garage now, gathering dust, worthless after some market crash I didn't understand. Third loan, July 2023. $15,000 for the social media management company. That one had actually looked promising. Kyle had 3 clients, real companies paying real money. Then he'd had a disagreement with all 3 clients in the same month. According to Kyle, they were impossible to work with and didn't understand the value of authentic engagement. Fourth loan, December 2023. $8,000 for holding costs while he developed his app idea. The app never materialized, but somehow the money disappeared anyway. I heard the garage door open. Jennifer was home from her shift at the hospital. She was a nurse, working 3 12-hour shifts per week, bringing home decent money, real money, money from an actual job. She came in looking exhausted, her scrubs wrinkled, her blonde hair escaping from its ponytail. She had Margaret's eyes, that same blue-green that changed with her mood. "Dad," she kissed my cheek. "How was your day?" Kyle asked for $75,000. She froze halfway through, shrugging off her jacket. "Oh, you knew. He mentioned he was going to talk to you." She hung her jacket on the hook by the door, not meeting my eyes. "It's a really good opportunity, Dad. His partner has actual connections. This could be the one that changes everything. Jennifer, I've given Kyle $43,000. None of it has come back. He's trying," she said, defensive now. "Do you know how hard it is to start a business? How many people fail before they succeed? At least he's not working some dead-end job. He's thinking bigger. He's not working any job." The words hung in the air between us. Emma looked up from her drawing, sensing the tension. Jennifer's voice dropped low. "That's not fair. He works constantly on his businesses." "Working on businesses that don't generate income isn't working, Jennifer. It's a hobby." "You know what?" Her eyes flashed, angry now. "Not everyone can be like you, Dad. Not everyone can just build some perfect, successful company and sell it for millions. Some people have to try different things. Some people take risks. I took calculated risks. I worked 60-hour weeks. I went without a paycheck the first year to meet payroll. That's different from asking family members to fund idea after idea. He's not asking strangers, Dad. He's asking family, because family is supposed to support each other." She moved past me toward the stairs. "I need to shower. We can talk about this later." I sat at my desk long after she'd gone upstairs, looking at the folder. $43,000. Not an insignificant amount, but not devastating either. I could afford it. The question wasn't whether I could afford it. The question was whether I should. That night, I did something I hadn't done before. I opened my laptop and started searching. It didn't take long. Kyle's social media was public, and he posted constantly about his entrepreneur lifestyle. The photos told a story. A dinner at Canard, a French restaurant downtown where entrees started at $60. Multiple pictures. Kyle and Jennifer, Kyle with business partners, Kyle alone with expensive wine. Date stamped. 3 weeks after I'd given him $8,000 for holding costs. A weekend trip to Bend. Sun River Resort. Kyle posing by an infinity pool. Jennifer in the background. Date stamped 6 weeks after the cryptocurrency loan. Concert tickets. Trailblazers games. New running shoes that cost $300, according to the brand tag he'd made sure to include in the photo. I kept scrolling. The pattern was clear. Every time I'd given him money, his social media exploded with consumption. Not business expenses, not investments, just spending. I thought about Margaret. What would she say? I could hear her voice in my head, that mixture of compassion and practicality that had made her such a good mother. "Robert, at some point you're not helping. You're just making it easier for them to avoid growing up." The next morning, Kyle caught me making coffee. He'd clearly been waiting. "So, Robert, have you thought about it? The deadline is Friday." I turned to face him. He was wearing Lululemon athletic wear, expensive headphones around his neck. He'd never actually seen him exercise, but he certainly looked the part. "I'm not going to give you the money, Kyle." His expression went carefully blank. "Okay. Can I ask why?" "Because I've given you $43,000 over 3 years, and I haven't seen a return on any of it." I explained that. Market timing, learning curve, networking period. These things take time. I also saw your social media posts, the restaurants, the trips, the concert tickets, all dated right after I gave you money for your businesses. He had the grace to look uncomfortable. Those were business expenses. Networking. You have to maintain appearances in the entrepreneur world. If you look broke, nobody wants to invest in you. That's not how it works, Kyle. That's exactly how it works. You wouldn't understand. You're from a different generation. Everything's different now. It's about personal brand, about presence, about showing people you're successful, So they believe in you. No, I said quietly. It's about doing actual work and generating actual value. His expression hardened. Jennifer said you'd do this. She said you've always looked down on me. That's not true, isn't it? You've never thought I was good enough for her, successful enough, traditional enough. Well, you know what, Robert? Not everyone wants to be a wage slave for 40 years. Some of us want more. What you want and what you're willing to work for are two different things. He stood abruptly. Fine. I'll figure it out myself, like I always do. He left the kitchen. A moment later, I heard him upstairs, talking to Jennifer. I couldn't make out words, but the tone was clear. 20 minutes later, Jennifer came down. Her face was set in that expression I remembered from her teenage years, the one that meant she'd made up her mind about something. Dad, we need to talk. Okay. Kyle is hurt. He's been trying so hard, and he feels like you don't believe in him. Jennifer, I showed you the numbers. I showed you his social media. The money I gave him for business expenses went to personal consumption. He explained that it's networking. It's different than when you were building your business. The world has changed. The principles haven't changed. You still need to provide value. You still need to actually work. She crossed her arms. You know, Mom would have supported him. She always believed in people's potential. The invocation of Margaret stung, and she knew it. Don't use your mother to manipulate me. I'm not manipulating you. I'm telling you the truth. She would have wanted you to help us. She would have believed in Kyle's dreams. Your mother would have wanted me to help you. And I have. But there's a difference between helping and enabling, Jennifer. At some point, I'm not helping Kyle succeed. I'm just making it easier for him to avoid facing reality. Her eyes filled with tears. So that's it? You're just going to abandon us? I'm not abandoning you. I'm saying no to one request for money. You don't understand what this means for us. This opportunity, Dad, it's real. Kyle's partner has actual connections. If we don't move now, we'll lose it. And then what? We just keep struggling forever? We stay stuck? You're not struggling, Jennifer. You have a good job. You make decent money. You could rent an apartment, live within your means, build a stable life for Emma. We can't afford rent in Portland on my salary alone. Not anywhere decent. Not anywhere good enough for Emma. Then Kyle could get a job. Any job. Even temporarily, while he works on his businesses on the side. He can't do that. Her voice rose. If he takes some random job, he loses momentum. He loses credibility. People won't take him seriously as an entrepreneur. What people? The investors, the partners, the ecosystem. I looked at my daughter, 36 years old, intelligent, educated, hardworking in her own career, and saw that she truly believed this. Kyle had convinced her that the Emperor's new clothes were real. I can't give him the money, Jennifer. She stared at me for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was cold. Then maybe it's time we found our own place. You're welcome to stay here as long as you need. I'm just not funding Kyle's lifestyle anymore. His business? Dad? His business. Okay, his business. You know what? We'll be fine. We don't need your money. Kyle will figure it out. He always does. She left the room. I heard her going back upstairs, heard the bedroom door close. Emma appeared from the living room, where she'd been coloring through the whole exchange. Grandpa, are Mommy and Daddy leaving? I knelt down to her level. I don't know, sweetheart. Maybe. Because of money? It's complicated, Emma. That's what Mommy always says when they fight about money. I hugged her. This little girl, who'd already lost one grandmother, and now might lose regular access to her grandfather. Whatever happens, I love you. That won't change. I love you too, Grandpa. The next 3 days were tense. Jennifer barely spoke to me. Kyle didn't speak to me at all. I heard them in their room, my old office, converted when they moved in, having heated conversations. I couldn't make out words, but the tone was clear. Planning, arguing, deciding. On Friday morning, Kyle came down while I was reading the newspaper. He had his laptop under his arm. Just so you know, Robert, I found another investor. Someone who actually believes in me. That's good, Kyle. I hope it works out. It will. And when it does, you'll see. You'll see that you were wrong about me. I'm not wrong about you, Kyle. I just can't keep funding your ideas. Same thing. He headed for the door. Jennifer and I talked. We're going to start looking for our own place. We'll be out by the end of the month. After he left, I felt the weight of it settle over me. They were leaving. My daughter and granddaughter were leaving. Not because of abuse or neglect, but because I'd set a boundary. Margaret's voice in my head. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is let someone face the consequences of their choices. I spent the day at my woodworking shop. Margaret had encouraged me to take it up after retirement, said I needed something to do with my hands. Now, it was my therapy. I was working on a rocking horse for Emma. Maybe I'd finish it before they left. That evening, Jennifer came down while I was making dinner. She watched me chop vegetables for a moment before speaking. We found a place. It's in Gresham. 2-bedroom, $1,500 a month. That's good. I kept my voice neutral. Kyle's partner is going to loan us the startup capital. $75,000. So we'll have the business income on top of my salary. I hope it works out. It will. She paused. We'll need first month's rent and deposit. That's $3,000. And furniture. We don't have much furniture. I kept chopping. I can help with that. I'll give you $5,000 for moving costs. First and last month's rent, deposit, whatever you need. Thank you. Her voice was stiff. We'll pay you back. Consider it a gift. No. We'll pay you back. We're not a charity case, Dad. 2 weeks later, I helped them move. The apartment was decent, in a complex with a pool and a playground. Emma was excited about the playground. Jennifer was putting on a brave face. Kyle was expansive, talking about his plans, his timeline, his projected revenue. I gave Emma the rocking horse. She loved it. Jennifer hugged me briefly at the door. I'll call you next week, she said. Anytime. Kyle didn't say goodbye. He was already on his phone, probably posting about their new place on social media. I drove home to the empty house. The house that was suddenly too big, too quiet, too full of memories and ghosts. Margaret's house. Our house. Now just mine. The first week was lonely. No Emma running through the halls. No Jennifer coming home from work with hospital stories. No Kyle to annoy me with his schemes. Just me and the silence. Then week 2 came. Jennifer called, her voice tight. Dad, can I ask you something? Of course. Did you co-sign on the house purchase when we bought the house last year? My stomach dropped. Yes. You couldn't qualify for the loan amount on just your salary, so I co-signed. Why? Kyle missed the first payment. He said the business startup took more capital than expected. He said he'd catch up next month, but the mortgage company called today. They said if we miss another payment, they'll start foreclosure proceedings. How did they start a business if they can't make the mortgage payment? I don't know. Kyle handles all that. He said it's complicated. He said I wouldn't understand the cash flow timing. I closed my eyes. Jennifer, you need to sit down with Kyle and go through the finances. All of them. Where did the $75,000 go? He said it went to the business setup, the LLC filing, the website development, the initial inventory. An LLC filing costs a few $100s. A website can be a few thousand at most. What inventory? I don't know. Her voice broke. I work 60 hours a week at the hospital, Dad. I trust him to handle this stuff. He's good at it. Is he? I asked gently. She started crying. I don't know anymore. I don't know what's real and what's not. He's so confident. He makes it all sound so logical. But then the money disappears and I don't know where it went. Come over tomorrow. Bring all the financial documents. We'll go through them together. She came the next afternoon. Kyle was at another networking event. Emma was at school. Jennifer spread out bank statements, credit card bills, and business documents across my dining room table. It took 3 hours to unravel it all. The $75,000 from Kyle's partner. Actually a hard money loan at 18% interest. The money had lasted exactly 3 weeks before it was gone. Not to business expenses, to catch up on debt. Credit cards maxed out. Personal loans from payday lenders. And yes, cryptocurrency. Gambling, basically. Kyle had been playing with crypto for months, always sure the next trade would be the big one. Jennifer sat with her head in her hands. How did I not see this? He hid it from you. Very carefully, from what I can see. Separate accounts, statements going to his email. You were working, taking care of Emma. You trusted him. What do I do, Dad? I thought carefully before answering. You have options. You could keep trying to make this work with Kyle. Hope he changes. Hope the business actually succeeds. Or you could protect yourself and Emma. File for separation. Establish your own finances. Stop being liable for his debts. I can't divorce him. I love him. Then you need to insist on complete financial transparency, complete control of the budget, and he needs to get a job, a real job. The businesses can be a side project, but you need stable income. She nodded slowly. He won't like that. Probably not. She gathered the papers. Thank you, Dad. I'm sorry. You were right about all of it. I didn't want to be right, sweetheart. I wanted to be wrong. The next week, Jennifer called again. Kyle moved out. He said I was trying to control him. He said he needs to focus on the business without negative energy. How are you doing? Honestly? Relieved. Scared, but relieved. The house is going into foreclosure. I can't afford it on my own, and Kyle can't contribute anything. The bank is saying 3 months until auction. Come home, I said. You and Emma. Come home. Dad. I can't. Yes, you can. It's your home too. Always has been. Come home. Save your money. Get back on your feet. We'll figure out the rest. She was crying. Thank you. That's what family does. They moved back in 2 weeks later. Emma was thrilled to be back. Jennifer was subdued but determined. She filed for separation, not divorce yet, but establishing legal boundaries. Kyle called me once. Accusatory. This is your fault. You poisoned her against me. No, Kyle. You did this yourself. I was trying to build something, to be somebody, and none of you believed in me. Believing in you isn't the same as funding you indefinitely. There's a difference. Whatever, Robert. You'll see. When my business takes off, you'll see. He hung up. I haven't heard from him since. Jennifer threw herself into recovery mode. She took extra shifts. She set up a budget. She started therapy, working through the financial abuse. Because that's what it was. The therapist said. Financial abuse. Hiding information. Creating dependence. Gaslighting about money. 6 months later, Jennifer came to me with a proposal. Dad, I want to buy the house from you. Well, buy into it. I've been saving. I have $20,000 for a down payment. We could structure it as a partial ownership thing, or you could gift me some equity as an early inheritance. Whatever works. But I want to pay my way. I want to actually own something. We worked it out with a real estate lawyer. I gifted her 50% equity. She bought another 20% from me. I kept 30% as an investment. Her name on the deed. Her house, truly. Emma started second grade at the same school where Jennifer had gone. She joined soccer. She took piano lessons. Normal kid things, without the tension of listening to her parents fight about money. Jennifer started dating again after the divorce was finalized. Nothing serious yet, but she was open to it. She was more cautious now, asking harder questions, setting clearer boundaries. Kyle's business failed, predictably, within 8 months. His partner sued him for defaulting on the loan. I heard through mutual acquaintances that Kyle had moved back in with his own parents, who had apparently been enabling him even longer than I had. Some people never learn. On a Sunday afternoon in late spring, 2 years after Kyle moved out, I sat on the back porch watching Emma play in the yard, the same yard where Jennifer had played at that age, the same yard where Margaret had planted the rose bushes that were blooming now, pink and fragrant. Jennifer brought out iced tea and sat next to me. "What are you thinking about?" she asked. "Your mother. She would have loved seeing Emma like this, happy, secure. She would have. And she would have been proud of you, Dad, for holding the line, for not just giving in. It felt cruel at the time. It was kind. You just couldn't see it yet. Neither could I." She sipped her tea. "I was so angry at you. I thought you were being selfish, ungenerous. I couldn't see that you were trying to save me from myself. I wasn't sure I was doing the right thing." "You were. Thank you." Emma ran up, grass-stained and grinning. "Grandpa, come push me on the swing." I stood, joints creaking slightly. 64 now, not old, but not young either, but healthy, present, here for my granddaughter, who would grow up in a home that was stable, paid for, real. "Coming, sweetheart." Behind me, Jennifer smiled. Through the window, I could see Margaret's photograph on the mantel, frozen at 60, forever young. But I liked to think she was here somehow, in the roses, in the laughter, in the peace we'd finally found. Sometimes saying no is the most loving thing you can do. Sometimes the line you draw becomes the boundary that saves everyone. It took me too long to learn that lesson, but better late than never. The swing creaked as I pushed Emma higher. She squealed with delight. In the kitchen, Jennifer was making dinner, humming something off-key. The house that had been too quiet was full of life again. Different life, changed life, but good life. Margaret would have approved.